Yeah, I don't feel like filming a video at all right now. I'm actually just doing a little bit of an experiment because I haven't felt like doing one of these catch up, just sit down and talk and share an idea to the camera for a while. You know, something that I'm trying to embrace and teach others to embrace is the fact that, like, human beings are never just one thing. So it's really interesting, this assumption that we made that when we create content, we have to be like, hey, what's up, guys, in this video? Like, is there anything necessarily wrong per se about just letting yourself show up even if you're in a bad mood, you know, or not totally on or totally animated? Are you any less of you when you're in those moods? Like, how many assumptions about how we have to be when we show up online can I challenge? Can I challenge every single gosh darn one of them? I know one that a lot of people carry around that it seems like for some people it actually energizes them creatively, but for many, many people it just adds a whole lot of weight and makes creating content and showing up online such a drag, which is, yeah, the need to make it super aesthetic and to have a perfect plan and an outline of what to say. Maybe if we're talking about Instagram, it's an aesthetic on the grid, matching the style of every post and all that. For some people, I think that's part of their, like, creative joy is they want to, curate something. Curation is like their art form in a way. But I swear, when I crack deeply enough into myself and when I crack deeply enough into, I don't want to say everyone, but a lot of people that I work with, most people, it seems like, just think that they have to keep up a certain aesthetic. And it's really just more of that sneaky perfectionism. So it becomes really, really interesting the more you question these things, right? The more you question these things about how content creation has to be. And the more you question them and unravel them and chip away at these assumptions, and the more you experiment creating outside of the bounds of these assumptions, the more you find out you really didn't have to follow any of those rules to begin with. You cannot repel certain people no matter what you do. there there are certain people, like, as a creator, there are certain people in our soul audience, in our aligned audience, who it truly doesn't matter what we say or how messy we show up or how raw or how vulnerable, because there's just an alignment there. They're never going to leave. Okay, but if you're doing it up for the entertainment value, and if you're, and again, I want to be very careful because there's nothing wrong with that. And there was a point in my creator journey where I was doing all that, and that phase led to the wisdom that I now have, which is that you can be whoever you want on the internet. So that phase taught me what I know now. But yeah, when you're ready, you could just be yourself. When you're ready, you can just really be yourself. You could just share whatever it is that you want to, in whatever mood, with as much or as little of a plan as you want to. You can just do it in whatever way is most energizing and least draining to you. Like, whatever idea it is that you have about how a YouTube video has to be created or planned or edited, whichever idea in your head is making the video seem impossible to create, like whatever is adding that weight, just go ahead and take that one off. Just go ahead and decide, you know what, it doesn't have to be edited that way. Or it doesn't have to be that length of a video. Or it doesn't have to be planned and scripted in that certain way. Maybe I can just have an idea for the topic, and then I'll turn my camera on and talk about that topic. Maybe I'll try it that way. Maybe I'll have a few bullet points, but maybe I'll just kind of let it rip and like pretend I'm talking to a human being instead of pretend I'm making this, YouTube video for the algorithm. Drop the heaviest rule that you're holding so you could get yourself into a state of creativity. Please, human expression is a human need. Trust me, I've been there when you really want to create, when you really want to express, but you've got all these stories in your mind about why you can't do it and you're locked up. It's painful. You don't gotta pretend it's not painful. It hurts. We're meant to express ourselves. It's a part of normal human functioning. But we're operating under a lot of fear of judgment, a lot of fear of not getting validation, fear of being seen, a lot of fear. At the end of the day, what I believe one of the most important things that you can do though is to show up and create. And express yourself. It's not just creating, but that kind of creates a bridge. I'm finding a really interesting transition in my journey where it's, it used to be all about content. That was where I would get all of this connection, and now all of a sudden I'm doing coaching and community. Now all of a sudden it seems like primarily what showing up for me means. It means showing up with people in a grounded state so that I can be of service. So it's really, really interesting to then navigate, what is content creation for me when that used to be the main thing? And now it seems like it's kind of like a tool. It's a tool. It's a means as opposed to an end. I could share this picture. It's kind of like a bridge. Like you guys are on a bridge right now. Let me show you this picture. Why not? Give me a second to draw it. I do this a lot on my calls and client sessions. I draw little pictures to help elucidate ideas. Okay, this is a pretty bad drawing, but this is me sharing my content on YouTube and Instagram, right? And this used to be the be all end all for me, but now it's actually just an opportunity to like reach you guys. Let me draw you guys up here. It's an opportunity to reach you guys and sort of have this community together. And I sort of see myself as a teacher too. But also now that I have things set up, like I've showed you this in my funnel updates, like now I have a community and this is free right now. And I have, coaching things you can do with me. Now it's like if you want to, you can take this bridge of YouTube and then enter my community where we can actually hang out and I can answer your questions. And then if you're working on something and you need help with it, and if I feel like I can really help you with it, we could talk about coaching. And this coaching I've done with several people now, and I really, really like it. I really, really like it. It's super scary because, I've really nailed the showing up online thing. I still have resistance. Like, you just witnessed me on this video start off with resistance, and now I'm kind of like, oh yeah, okay. It's fun to make these videos, and I'm in the flow now. But showing up for this, I'm getting better at it, but it can be so scary, Takes a certain level of self-confidence. Did I already mention the mess back there? Sorry about that. I'm actually starting to slowly in advance clean up and pack up my apartment and sell things off a little bit because I'm going to be moving end of July at the latest. But yeah, showing up for my clients, showing up for my community, showing up in the flesh, I guess you could say, it's got a different, it's almost like the next level. You remember that onion that I drew? Let me draw that onion again. So this is like us here, right? And this smaller circle in the middle, that's like our limited idea of who we are and what we're capable of. So, at one time I didn't know that I could show up and be myself on YouTube, but then I broke through that one, right? And I had more freedom. My idea of who I was bigger, but there was still a circle of limitation, maybe limited ideas around what I could do to make money and to run a business. I certainly didn't think I could be a coach. But now I'm breaking through that one and I'm seeing, I can be a coach and I can help people. But there's just more and more layers to get through, more and more layers of limiting belief. And, I mentioned that sometimes showing up in certain ways is scary for me. That's actually really good because that fear and discomfort and the sticky feelings, and they come up often. I'm experiencing some right now after I hosted a community call today. Even though I think it went really well, but I have my ruminations and my fears about what happened and what people think of it, and did I do this enough or this enough, and did I answer this person's question? Was it too much, and did I neglect this person? All this stuff, right? But this fear and stickiness, again, when you're outside of your current layer of what you think is possible for yourself. So if this outermost circle is my current idea of what I'm capable of, anything outside of that is going to be very, very uncomfortable. So in that way, you can actually use, as you're on a self-growth journey or doing new things in your life or whatever, that discomfort and fear and awkward feelings is actually a good green flag that you're stretching and expanding, right? And stretching is uncomfortable, but ultimately it's going to be worth it because you're going to grow. That outermost layer of limiting stories, that one where it's like, I really don't know if I can do more than that. But then you start doing more than that and it's like, it's so uncomfortable. But then over time you just get used to it and suddenly you're bigger. Or you could also say, like, really what we're doing is undoing limiting beliefs. So we're just getting closer and closer to who we truly are, which is, a being of infinite potential or whatever. So if you're interested in one-on-one creative freedom coaching, I do a holistic coaching experience. We do inner work. We work on bad habits. We also work on implementing a creative project of your dreams, such as starting a YouTube channel, working on your business, showing up on Instagram, whatever it is, we could talk about it. You can book a free connection call if you want to talk about that. I also have a link to my free community where I host weekly creative freedom calls, as well as I currently host meditations. All of that info is in the description. I hope you found this interesting, and I'll see you next time. Bye.